my mind, and tell me if I'm wrong, but in my mind, this model is really cool because it blends, the museum model, which we're all kind of familiar with. There's a collection. We'll talk about the collection in a minute, but there's, a collection, or there's even in these temporary exhibits, they invite artists in, they give them a space, and it's free. Usually museums aren't charging artists to display their artwork. So there's that aspect of it, and the aspect of curation, to your point, creating an exhibit that's really intentional, bringing things together and themes, and thinking through how someone, from the public or coming in would experience it. So that, that in my mind is in the kind of museum bucket. But then there's kind of the co-op gallery model bucket or undercurrent happening, where it's these, calls for people, because usually a museum, it's like a curator comes up with a concept, they'll go out, they get the stuff they need, that's the thing. But in this way, it's opening a call to women artists in Colorado and saying, this is our theme. Bring what you have, we'll select what we think makes sense. And so in that way, it's quite different from a traditional museum model, and the sense that, like a co-op gallery, just having this accessibility level to artists where they might not normally be involved or, allowed to be involved in museum exhibits. So there's this kind of duality, which is really cool. Am I wrong on that, or is it?
No, it's true. It is. You are right, and it's an interesting phenomenon to be doing right now, because this isn't normal museum activity, but this is how you get started. So there you go. It is interesting because I'll tell you. So I didn't answer one of your questions. The women of Colorado are very excited about this. The women artists, and so we aren't requiring any kind of payment to exhibit, but we have memberships and ways to donate, and most of them do because they want this. So it isn't a normal museum thing where you just are a member and you go to it. You are it. And that is exciting. Okay, I just said something new. Women, you are this museum, and you are helping it become. I mean, this is really, the time and place. And you asked before about why this, why now? And I do know that there was an effort in Boulder, probably in the late 80s, to start a Colorado Women's Art Museum. The timing wasn't right, and the location wasn't right. And we're proud of and grateful for their effort to do that. But being in the capital city of Denver makes a difference, especially as you're going to, we're adding to the tourist and tourism efforts of Denver by creating this museum. We're adding to the benefit of the citizens of Denver and the state. We're encouraging the arts district that we are in to succeed and thrive. So there's a whole lot of reasons for where we're doing this and how we're doing it. And the reason that it's now is the right time is because there is a groundswell and a critical mass of Colorado women artists. So, in the 80s, yes, there were, but man, it is much more significant population now than there was in the 80s that are really doing their art in the state. Most of us have gotten to a point, once you hit 60 plus, you're like, okay, I'm probably not going to make it in New York. I'm doing it here. This is where it is. And that might happen, but that is not what I'm counting on or trying to pursue. It's here and now in this state, in this time, and this is where it's happening. So that is really the critical mass that's kind of happened right now. Plus, there's a lot more actual statistical information now than we ever had before about the state of things. I want to shout out for the Burns Halperin report. I think it's every 2 years they do a huge national study of what's going on gender wise in the arts, and it's massive and it's amazing, and they do an excellent job of doing the research and presenting it in really great ways. They've got a great graphic designer. That's all I have to say. Their charts are really fantastic.